Hey guys, gals, and MBs, doing a quick follow-up video on everything that's happened recently. I have two of my favorite synths here right now. I just need some B-roll, I guess, to talk about things. But yeah, so the Peak and the Trigon are both synths that, with no exception, I can recommend. They're both absolutely fantastic in their own right. If you need something that's digital, a hybrid synth, this is hybrid. Yeah, the Peak is just that. It is the best thing you can get as a hybrid synth, in my opinion, right now, especially under like $2,000. And yeah, the Trigon is still my favorite analog synth right now. So update on everything that's been going on, the Behringer stuff. A lot of people have been very positive about my want to stop supporting them. I haven't privated. I have unlisted all my Behringer videos, at least the ones that just feature the Behringer stuff directly by themselves, because I just don't want to support them anymore. If you want to watch some good videos on why they're a shitty company, I'm not going to go into it. Watch the Jorb video, which I'll link, or the Ben Jordan video. They're both fantastic. I haven't watched them until recently because I was kind of like not wanting to cloud my opinion on their synths, because I'm one of those people that I can't really discount the art from the artist kind of thing in most general terms, because you just can't support both things, in my opinion. So anyway, yeah, I'm done with Behringer. They can really go screw off, basically. I want to say more, but I'm only a minute into this. Well, so I don't want this to like be a banned video for saying naughty words, because you know how YouTube is. But yeah, for the people that are saying, Behringer's out there doing altruistic things to give us these synths at such a low price. No, they're not. They're cutting corners. They're cutting quality. Even though they might work out of the box, which all of mine have except for like maybe two, but I've gotten them replaced. My original MS1 had some problems out of the box, but I got that replaced, and I think it was my cat had some major issues. It had a note hanging issue that firmware never fixed, but the new ones were fine. So, when they were replaced, they were fine. That said, a lot of people have come forward and said, hey, my unit's been perfect, but then there have been counter to that saying, oh yeah, my units have been bunk like a year down the line. And apparently, for some reason in Europe, which Behringer's a German company, I mean, yeah, they're Chinese. We're just gonna say they're Chinese. They have their little, re-education camp in China where they make all their synths. But I'm not even going to get into the labor practices, because I'm shooting this on an iPhone, and Foxconn is fantastic about labor practices, so I can't really say on that. But that said, it's like, for the people, all the people that have said their synths have been good, a lot of people have said they've died. And then the European thing out of the thing, even though they're technically German, I've seen a lot of people say that it's been a nightmare to get their Behringer stuff fixed within the warranty in Europe. And there's even some videos, just look them up on the DeepMind. I think there was a guy in Ireland or Scotland that had multiple issues with his DeepMind, and they just kept sending him back bunk units. So yeah, I can't I just can't support them on a consumer level at this point. You might get something out of the box that works for a little while, but down the line it'll be broken. And I mean, I had some nasty comments about, supporting Sweetwater. I mean, like, what other retailers do we have? Do you want to use Guitar Center? And I know it's the bigger retailers that screwed over the little ones, but here I have an anecdote about that. I bought a Fairfield Engineering, it is Fairfield Engineering, the shallow water from a small retailer in Seattle, I think it was. I forgot who the hell they were called, but they sent me it was a small mom and pop shop, because Fairfield doesn't really sell through major retail channels, and they sent me a used unit that smelled of cigarette smoke, and they told me it was new, and then they started arguing with me. So it's like, there's bad retailers around. I mean, yes, the larger retailers pushed out some of the good smaller ones, but that's just, some retailers are just shitty to begin with. It's just like, don't attack me over that. Go attack Amazon. They're the ones that really pushed a lot of people out of the way. And it's like, yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with Sweetwater, because they have returned stuff that I need to get new equipment for without any hassle. They've gotten me things next day shipped out. Like literally I'll get it the next day for a replacement unit, especially with some of the sequential stuff I've had issues with. That said, I know I've been harsh on Sequential's build quality, but for that price point, you really should get a premium synth. I did just order another OB6, and that'll be coming today, and we'll hope that it's fantastic. I've heard too many people saying, on the contrary, that their OB6 works really well, so I got a batch of bunk units. They all came from the sequential serial number, sequential, huh? But they were all sequential serial numbers, right? So they probably came from a bad batch of units. As far as I know, Sequential doesn't manufacture their own stuff. They use contract manufacturing with some places around California. So I'm guessing that the wonderful Trigon, which is just, it's a very different synth. Everything is just so fantastic on it. The Trigon is probably manufactured by somebody else versus who manufactured my OB6. Maybe not. Maybe they just, it was engineered differently. We'll see. We'll see with the new OB6. If you see videos on the OB6, you know I got a good one. I'm not going to go back and make another video on their bad build quality if it's bad. But I'm going to try and get a working unit, because the OB6 is a sound that I just couldn't replicate on anything else, even the UBXA. Which, if the UBXA was a working synth, and I've heard enough people saying that they have problems, just go look it up. There was another person on Reddit that had a problem with the UBXA with voices being randomly never tunable on one of the oscillators, and I told them, like, you know, mine was fine, but then mine developed a tuning and dead voice issue, so I should go back and really reply to that thread and say, you know, mine developed a like dead voice issue. So yeah, if you want to support like decent synth manufacturers, I love Sequential, I love Novation, I love Dreadbox. I should have the Nymphus out. Other than that, horrible interface on the Nymphus. I wish they made one that was like the what's the little monosynth, the Typhon. If they made one like that in a polysynth, geez, they would kill it. Make that about 100 make that under $1,000 still, and yeah. So what do I recommend you stay with? Like, if you really want a like cheaper polysynth and analog, go ahead and get them. Sorry, just like I've just woken up and I'm doing this kind of off the cuff before I go to work, so it's like, you know, I'm trying to, yeah. Anyway, the Korg MiniLog, either the OG or the XD, you can get them used for really cheap. I would recommend those if you're on a budget and you want to play that whole, well, I don't have a lot of money, do that. If you don't have a lot of money, use software. Really, don't use the fallacy that Behringer's out there doing you the good by selling you a cheap synth that'll die in a few years. The problem with Behringer is I've personally not seen none of my units have died in the short ownership periods that I've had, and that's bad on me. I haven't owned them long enough to know if they'll just die. I just swap through them. I get tired of them because they're reissues of old synths, and there's not as much things you can do as in modern synths. Like, it's not like my MiniLog, which I've kept for years and years and years. I've finally just ended up, I sold it for a module, and then I ended up selling the module because I have something like a Trigon now, and they're just fantastic. Or a Take 5. The Take 5 is behind me. My music room is a mess, otherwise I would just show you. Actually, you know what? Let's go. Oh yeah, see, there it is. I keep it right there. So yeah. My Take 5 is still here. I keep it covered just because I want to keep the dust off and things like that, because, you know, I love it, and I would not sell it unless something better came out in that form factor, but it won't. I think the Take 5 is like the best profit sounding synth on a budget. So, I mean, it's not exactly a profit synth. I'll uncover it. It's kind of weird to show it like that. But yeah, it's one of my favorites for sure. This is full-heartedly, I could recommend it. The TO5 I did pre-order, so I should state that'll be coming. A lot of people seem interested in what my opinions are of it, so I'm just going to go back here, and yeah, so TO5 is pre-ordered, and yeah, we'll see how that is. I think it's going to be exciting because it's going to have the same modulation matrix and capabilities as the Take 5, but with that awesome sum filter. And yeah, so yep, that's my thing. I'll link to the Jorb and the Ben Jordan videos on why they are not covering, or they don't want to. I guess Ben Jordan didn't say he wasn't going to cover a Behringer. I mean, he's not at this point, but Jorb won't. So yeah, and those are also YouTubers I can highly recommend. But yeah, also, yeah, on the other thing with the Behringer thing, and I didn't even know the whole controversy behind the Oberheim thing. That is douchey as fuck. You know, you take somebody's name, you try and copyright it, and then you pretend to be altruistic, because they're pretending to be altruistic. They're just like that. The only reason they probably gave money to charity after the whole thing is Ben Jordan uncovered the fact that they weren't giving money to charity until after he made that video. But yeah, that said, they tried to copyright Tom Oberheim's name. He never says Behringer directly in that interview that he gives about, like, you know, synths and stuff, because I wouldn't want to either. I mean, he doesn't want to get a lawsuit against him for talking bad about Behringer, but on the other hand, it's like, you know, he likes people having a decent, at least like a Oberheim style synth, if they can, even if they can't afford it. Like he says, you know, use software or something like that. And I'll leave it at that. If you can't afford something that's actually decent, just use software. Yeah, I've been rambling long enough. You'll see, I'm not going to talk about Behringer anymore. Again, my opinion at this point, since it's long into the video, they can go fuck off. They're a terrible company. You know, take that as you will. I'm not attacking you if you buy Behringer stuff. I'm attacking Behringer as being another shitty company that doesn't want to do anything innovative other than, you know, sell a product that's not particularly great. All right, and I'm sorry that in the past that I pushed products from them because I thought they were decent enough for their price points, but that's a stupid fallacy to say. Just get something that's sustainable and will last you. And if you have a Behringer product that's lasted you, good for you. You're have fun with it. You know, it's not uncommon when you make that much products that you'll have a few that are okay versus a bunch that are defective. Go search on any Behringer synth and problems and you'll find them. I mean, I even had the mono poly that came with the dead key bed right out of the box, but I mean, I got it replaced again through Sweetwater. I mean, if you're gonna buy Behringer, buy it through them at least, because they'll replace it and you won't have to deal with Behringer's awful warranty process, from what I've heard. And one thing before I do leave, so you don't get screwed over and you really want to buy Behringer and you don't care of what I said, make sure you register your Behringer product, because they'll tell you to go fuck off if you haven't registered it and their warranty is not transferable. All right, thanks for watching, and you'll see this is going to be my next video, the Novation. We'll just talk some more about it. All right, bye.